Making a quick video on how I mounted my headlights because it's kind of confusing based on what they give you at RCR, which is nothing you can use. It might as well just go right in the trash. This here is the hole I made. Shout out to my buddy Greg, who made me a template to be able to draw in a marker. I could make a trace of what I needed to cut out. I primarily just used a little cheap Dremel with a cut wheel to make the straight cuts, and on a little tiny sanding wheel to be able to cut the curved corners and then sand it to exactly fit the headlight. I would just push the headlight in, see where I needed to cut, and just kept sanding down until the headlight fit perfectly. And then you can see this side. I'll show you guys how to make the bracket next. Gonna try and show you now how I made this backing bracket that gets epoxied in right here. So this is just an aluminum piece that I'm gonna epoxy to the back side of the headlight cutout. I'll show you more of this outside. That bracket we had back behind the backing plate, or behind the fiberglass, this is the backing plate. We're gonna epoxy this up against the fiberglass, and what I'm gonna do is drill holes where these elevator bolts will push in from the back side and epoxy into place. I'll show you that next. But an elevator bolt is just one of these flat-sided bolts. You can get them at any hardware store, Menards, Home Depot, places like that. They're about 60 cents each. I bought 4 of those. I did 4 on the other side. I'll show you that. So now what I did is I drilled the holes in the plate that goes up against the fiberglass in your car, which is this one. And then this plate slips over the back of that. So this will be pushed up against your headlight opening. So your headlight will be sitting like this. I gotta back these out of the way. But this will be pushed up against your headlight, okay? With these bolts going through. And then this plate will slip over the top. I've got that backing plate epoxied in now. You can see the elevator bolts, which are carriage bolts. So I drilled holes, squared them off so the carriage bolt would poke through, and then epoxied those in individually, and then epoxied the whole bracket in. Now I'm gonna slip springs over those studs and then push the backing bracket up against the headlight. I'll show you what that looks like when it's done. This is the bracket I'm going to slip up against the back of the headlight. Those are the springs that will go over the top of those elevator bolts, and then they'll go behind this bracket. So this bracket will crush that spring into that backing plate and that elevator bolt. So I'll put that on and show you what it looks like when it's done. Now you can see I've got the entire thing put together, and I've got some 1/4-inch nuts on the back. There's springs compressing it in on the back side of those elevator bolts. It's nice and firm. It does actually spring a little bit. You can adjust it if you back off one side or the other. You're not gonna get a ton of adjustment out of it though. They kind of are where they are, which is also dictated just by the way those lights fit into the fiberglass. Regardless, I got them in. It was a little bit of effort. Probably took about 10 hours total between the two, maybe 11. Anyway, that's how I did mine. If it helps you out, saved you some time.